I was under the weather yesterday, and I wasn't in any condition to be able to do a review for Jitsu or Berserk that came out, and I just decided to crash and take a nap and sleep until whenever I got up. And so, I'm just letting you know, I'm very sorry for this review and Berserk being late. I'm going to be getting out Berserk very soon. I just got to read the chapter a couple more times to get my full thoughts on it, and then the review will be out in probably a few more hours after this is up. But I just want to say very sorry about that. I was just feeling a little bit sick yesterday, and I couldn't really do a really good review of Jitsu what I wanted to do, or just, I couldn't even do it to begin with, because I just wasn't feeling that good. So, yeah. Anyways, talking about Jitsu, the first half of this episode, just to be honest with you, it is the standard pool episode we all must have when it comes to a series like this, and since it is the summer of anime 2015, we do need a pool episode, because, every single series, usually when it comes to harems, romance, and stuff, needs a pool episode, a beach episode, a spa episode, a hot spring episode. It needs one of those type of episodes for the summer, because it fits with the theme. And so when it comes to the first half of the episode, it's mainly our characters, all of our characters, male and female characters, coming together, spending time together, having, their antics of fan service to comedy to different things like that with their dialogue, and it was pretty much just like a pool episode and having it to where all the characters were kind of bonding. That's what the first half was, and eventually it leads into some of the romantic developments at the end of the episode, which was very sweet, and definitely one of the better parts of the entire series, and I personally was just doing like, oh my god, that's just so fucking cute. The soundtrack is the true winner of this episode. Like, that soundtrack, hands down, the best of this week's episode. Like, it really made the episode for me. I love the cute moments at the end with, Kuromine and Shirogami, trying to learn how to swim, and then how they were sneaking into the pool. And it's very nice, and it was beautifully animated. It's not the best, but it was beautifully animated from what I saw from this series. And then the music starts kicking in, and I'm like, oh my god. It's just like, see, I have a thing for romances. I love romance series. I think everybody knows I love romance. And when I hear a really good soundtrack like that playing in the background, when you just see this, like, romantic development, it just hits my love strings. I'm like, oh my god, dude, that's so good. That's so good. And that's kind of what this episode was to me. Because, when I was just sitting there watching this adorable moment between Kuromine and Shirogami and how they're connecting and how, like, the parents of Shirogami was, at one point in time, sneaking into the pool to also learn how to swim. There was just, kind of foreshadowing that these two are going to be together. But let's be real here. We already know that Shirogami and Kuromine are going to get together because they're the main characters, and, the entire plot kind of revolves around those two for the most part when it came to the first episode. So let's face it, Kuromine and Shirogami are going to get together, and I was just kind of trying to imply that they will eventually get together later on down the road. So very sweet. If you are a Shirogami fan, you're definitely going to love this episode, because I know there's different fans of different characters when it comes to, like, romance series, and if you're a Shirogami fan, you're going to love the episode. But even regardless, if you're not a fan of her, I think anyone most likely might love this episode just because of the romantic vibe it gives you. It's very romantic, and it just, the way it does some of the dialogue, it was really sweet. I love it, and especially the way the animation was shown on the blushing faces. So that's kind of my thoughts on this week's episode of Jitsu. The first half, like I said, it was just a pool episode, and there's not really much to really just dive into, because it had the fan service, it had the comedy, and just the standard stuff we see from that type of episode, so there's nothing really deep I need to just talk about, so I'm just going to completely move past that. But when it comes to the later half of the episode, well executed, and definitely a great segue from the first half into the second half. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you all feel about this week's episode of Jitsu? Once again, I want to say I'm very sorry for this review being a little bit late. Actually, it's very late. It's like Tuesday, and I usually upload the day when the day it comes out. I just want to say my apologies. I am very sorry that this is late, but I want to get to work on Berserk now. So you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.